Hello and welcome back to CPTV. I'm your host, Liam Keating.
And I'm Luke Mullen.
Let's get started with this week's announcements.
The freshman costume dance will be held in the Commons tonight at 8:30.
The Junior Jays basketball team will be taking on Rockers High School this Saturday at 5 p.m. Check out CP Varsity Sports for the link for our live broadcast.
Mom Prom will be held on Monday the 13th.
And on Tuesday the 14th, we have a 9:35 late start.
And lastly, Friday the 17th, there is no school due to junior encounter.
Our main story this week. We sit down with the pivotal players in the winter season.
First, Liam Keating will sit down with Nicola Rope to discuss the basketball season.
No, I didn't choose it because of basketball. I chose it because of the education, how good it was. I was thinking for a little while that if I came to prep, I wasn't going to play basketball because of the situation I was in at the time.
We are lucky that sophomore Colorado did choose basketball. Arope, a starter and leader for this team, has the Junior Jays ranked inside the Omaha World Herald's top 10 rankings.
Our JV team went undefeated last year, so it isn't that hard as the competition now for varsity level. And I got to play like 3 games, and I was injured. I got injured, so I was out for the rest of the season.
Coming off of that knee injury last year, Arope has not lost his bounce, averaging close to 74% from the field.
I bring a lot of energy. I bring my best every game. I just try to keep the crowd going, just entertain them a little bit.
Arope always gets the fans up on their feet, especially after his rim-rocking dunks.
This season, I think I'm averaging about like 17 to 18 points a game right now, 9 rebounds, a block a game. So,
Prep will need Arope down the stretch for a chance at a state title this year. This has been Liam Keating for CPTV. Now over to Tristan with swimming.
The fact that I got on the team and that I'm able to actually make a difference is pretty outstanding. That I thought when I first joined that the juniors and seniors were going to pull the weight for the team and that me not really going to matter all that much, but I'm actually making a difference.
Freshman Danny Perry is making more than a difference for the team this year. The state qualifying times for Perry's race, the 500 free, is 5 minutes and 5 seconds. But Perry manages to swim this event in 4 minutes and 53 seconds. For a freshman, this is an extremely good time. He is currently able to keep up with the times of the upperclassmen on the team.
But like Connor Funk, junior, he went like 4:57, and at the Brian Duel not too long ago. So I think that's pretty nice that I can stay on par with the junior.
This is Tristan Remick for CPTV. Now over to John with wrestling.
Back in grade school, I think it was 6th grade, I started wrestling, but I quit after a year. I didn't really like it. And then after freshman football, I talked to one of my coaches, and he told me that wrestling was actually one of the best off-season conditioning for football. But I thought since I already have about a year under my belt, I might as well try it. And I've stuck with it ever since. I kind of went from this freshman who only knew some of the fundamentals and won a couple matches here and there to being the senior captain now, and it's pretty exciting. Whether you're a freshman or a senior, we all do the same training. We all do the same conditioning, everything, drilling. So going through all that together really creates a bond. And it's a great group of guys that we have this year, and it's really fun.
Eamon's a guy that came in with little to no experience at all, and he's developed into a 35-10 wrestler who is looking to place at state. This is a story I'm going to tell for years to come of how if you get good at a couple moves, you can really dominate everyone, and if you wrestle the prep wrestling way, it can really be successful.
Well, one of the main things I want people to remember me by is being a hard worker, pushing to the limits, and never giving up.
Thanks, John. Next, we'll turn it over to Uncaging the Bird hosts Matt Boulay and Aiden Swanson as they discuss This Week in Sports.
Hi, I'm Matt Boulay, expert of sport, and I'm Aiden Swanson, sports expert. And today we'll be doing the Uncaging the Bird segment, starting off with the basketball team. This past weekend, Omaha Creighton Prep took on Lincoln Northeast in a very close matchup in which the Junior Jays came out on top behind a very good performance by Tommy Steyer. Tommy Steyer over these past 5 games actually has been playing very well for us. He's averaged 10 points per game. Going back to the Central game, Omaha Creighton Prep took on what would probably be considered their most competitive matchup of the season so far.
I'd say so.
And they actually came out on top once again behind another good performance by Tommy Steyer and 2 crowd-silencing threes by Matt Wollendorf and Will Hannafin at the end of the game, which kind of put a dagger in Central. Also, Kyle Lukey played very well for us, having multiple threes that put us back to the lead.
The swim team went up to Minnesota this weekend, and in their double duel, they won both JV meets, and in the varsity meet, they won against Eden Prairie, but lost narrowly to Minnetonka. And I'm sure they can't wait to get back into Nebraska play, so they can continue their dominance.
They are very excited. I know I've been talking to a few of them. Looking forward to this weekend. Omaha Creighton Prep takes on Rockhurst High School here at Creighton Prep at 5 o'clock. It's actually senior night, so make sure you attend. Back to you, Luke and Lee.
Thank you, Matt and Aiden. And now we introduce a new segment to CPTV. Our resident movie watcher, Nick Weindel, shares his thoughts on 2 new movies he watched, Split and Resident Evil, the final chapter.
Hello and welcome to the first installment of Weindel Watches. I'm Nick Weindel, your resident movie expert. I saw 2 movies this past weekend. The first one was Split, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, aka the next Steven Spielberg, and it starred James McAvoy as Kevin Wendell Crumb, a man with dissociative identity disorder. So this movie had some pros and some cons. First of all, there was a resurgence by M. Night Shyamalan. He's had some duds lately, but it was kind of nice to see a better movie come out from him, because I think he's not a horribly untalented director. And James McAvoy was obviously very good. He had to portray a lot of different personalities, but at the same time, he was able to do these effectively without making them seem too cliche. And the other acting performances weren't horrible either. Betty Buckley played Dr. Fletcher, Kevin's psychiatrist, and she was pretty good. But there were some cons. I think James McAvoy at times confused eccentric with crazy, and it kind of goes off the wall at the end. But in the end, I think it was a pretty solid job. My verdict would be 3.5 Weindels out of 5. And then the second movie I saw was Resident Evil, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, not Paul Thomas Anderson, and starring Mila Jovovich. And the plot is that Alice, played by Mila Jovovich, must save humanity from a virus that is killing off humanity. Some of the pros were that there was some stupid action sequence that I guess have their appeal. But other than that, I really don't have much. The cons were that there were a lot of jump scares, and I couldn't enjoy myself because of these jump scares. Every time it went silent, I put the hood over my hood over my face because I just didn't want to get scared. Wooden acting, poor writing, which go hand in hand. Very predictable, and you don't really care about the characters in the end. So my verdict for this would probably be like 1.5 to 2 out of 5 Weindels. I guess if you want to see a stupid violent movie, why not? But if you want to see a good movie, please don't. So, back to you, Luke and Liam.
Thank you, Nick, for that amazing review. And thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in this week.
We'll be back on February 23rd. Thanks for joining us.